Hello! Alright, I'm doing a quick check to make sure that everything is working, and it looks like I am indeed streaming. So awesome! I should be all set up, and I will give a quick link into Discord to let people know that I have begun. Get my hair slightly like that. 1 second. All right, I should be live now, and thank you so much for joining me for this spontaneous stream that I was not planning in any way, shape, or form. So thank you so much for joining me as I do some banjo practice. And lights shouts banjo with nice long O. So I suppose I should actually pull out the banjo to prove that indeed this is a banjo stream. Woohoo! Alright, so I am actually going to do something semi-new for banjo streaming, which is I am going to quickly show a video of the piece that I am just about to start with. I hadn't heard this piece before, but as soon as my teacher told me the name of the piece, I was like, oh, I bet that's the Stanley Brothers. And indeed, it is composed by Ralph Stanley. So I am actually going to do a quick video and watch Ralph perform this. Yeah. Ralph and, yeah, okay. I'm making sure that I'm saying the right name because I'm like Ralph and Carter Stanley, just making sure which one's which in my head. So, I'm gonna quickly watch it just to get a better ear about how this piece sounds like, and then I will get to starting the music of doom. And yes, we video, and yes, gotta have all the O's because of that long-ass neck. I guess it does look pretty long. It's entertaining because this is shorter than like a Seeger banjo where the neck just goes on for eternity. It's a giraffe of the banjo world. Alright, so here. Let's hope this video works. I highly don't know if it will or not, but we'll try. And here we are. Okay. Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Backstep. And if you don't hear it, oh well. It's a informal stream and it's only 2 minutes long, so hopefully this works. Alright. So the Stanley Brothers band was called the Clinch Mountain Boys, which is why as soon as I heard the song was called the Clinch Mountain Backstep, I was like, wonder who it is.
Do a little banjo picking here. Brother Ralph will take care of that. We let him play one once in a while. And don't anybody write in and request him to play again because we're paying him all we can stand. Now, I believe you're going to play the Clinch Mountain Backstep. Is that right?
Right.
Does some really weird things. It could just be, like, I don't know, the way he's rocking it is sort of interesting. I don't know that I see many people do that. Of course, that's maybe my inexperience saying that, but I think my teacher was like, what the fuck is that, too? Audio is probably complete crap because I have double microphones. Oh well. Alright, cool. That was just as much for me as for you guys. Let's switch back to my face. Alright, we can see the video too, and that is a very pretty banjo. And Tears Lurking. Hello, my friend the Lurker. Awesome. So, cool. Yeah, so that, yeah, I mean, Ralph Stanley was a very influential banjo player and pretty interesting to listen to. He was, the Carter and Ralph Stanley were some of the first people to start imitating the bluegrass sound. So they heard Bill Monroe performing with the classic band of the Bluegrass Boys. So they heard Earl Scruggs back when he was big and new, and they, you know, no one else had heard anything like it. And the brothers were like, "That's cool, let's figure out how to play that." So Bill Monroe originally was very grumpy at the Stanley Brothers because they copied very closely on their radio program what Bill had done the night before. So I have to give the brothers credit that they figured the things out that fast. So Bill Monroe performs on, you know, the Grand Ole Opry, and then the next day the Stanley Brothers are playing almost verbatim what the Bluegrass Boys were doing. So yeah, you gotta give them credit for that. And they became more and more original over time and developed their own tone. And they also ended up becoming friends with Bill Monroe. Actually, they both played with Bill Monroe, one of them actually as a bluegrass boy for a period of time. So the friendship ended up friendshipping. But yeah, so there we go. Yeah, Light says those brothers are genius. Yeah, they're brilliant. Like, especially because I'm pretty, like, if you see how old they were when they were imitating Bill, they were like teenagers. They were like scrawny little cute little kids. You're like, wow, good job, guys. So yeah. And, you know, to be fair, they were on a smaller radio show, so whatever. Shiny earrings, easily distracted. Yes, shiny earrings of doom. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay. So yeah, that's the piece that I'm going to be learning, and that's the piece I'm not going to be playing anywhere near as good. And hi, says Glory. Yeah, the history of bluegrass is so much fun, and there's so many rivalries and so forth. And really, Bill Monroe versus the Stanley Brothers was the first tensions between Bill and the 300 other people he had tensions with. Well, I guess the only one that Bill had tensions with before was when he and his brother Charlie split, but let's not get into that. I mean, unless you want me to, in which case I will keep on yakking, because I am slowly becoming an encyclopedia of country music, and I'm just accepting my fate. Alright, so what's interesting about the Clinch Mountain Backstep is, the backstep is actually... This piece is in 4/4 for the majority, but there's one measure that's in 2/4, and it gives that little backpedaling feel, just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that rhythm change is really cool, and that's something that I'm going to have to pay attention to as I'm learning it, to make sure that that 1, 2, 4 measure sticks out. Light says Bill Monroe versus the world. Okay, but you're not wrong. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh goodness, Bill. Yeah, so as Silas knows, I've been going through a biography of Bill Monroe and seeing all of the drama just unfolding, and oh my gosh, it never ends, and I'm in the 1980s, and we've had drama since the 1940s, and once I finish the biography of Bill Monroe I'm currently working on, I'm going to read the second biography, which is focused more on his interpersonal stuff, so that's going to be even worse. It's going to be great. And hi, Fury. Light says, honestly, the Bill drama is the best. Do feel free to talk away. Okay, I can totally do. I can totally do. So yeah, thankfully between Bill and the Stanleys, it ended up not being the longest rivalry. In a few years, once bluegrass had kicked off and Bill was more grumpy at Flatt and Scruggs than at the Stanleys, Bill and the Stanleys basically joined forces. So the biggest rivalry, it was between Bill Monroe and Flatt and Scruggs, and that went on for 23 fucking years. But once that rivalry was in full force, the Stanley Brothers were with Bill. The Stanley Brothers actually were, definitely showed their allegiance with Bill, and there were some interesting incidences that occurred in public on stage in which they badmouthed Flatten Scruggs, and Flatten Scruggs' manager, Earl's wife, responded by threatening a lawsuit, and we won't get into all that, but yeah, so Stanley's and Bill were close. Twitch notifications working as intended, says Fury. Glad you're here. Thank you for being here. It's great. I will probably be doing a gaming stream later tonight, but I just wanted to play banjo for a little bit, and some people are like, stream it, so I'm streaming it, and I always love hanging out with y'all, so. And I look pretty today because my hair is washed, and I'm like, yes, hair! So, you know, the more I'm in front of a video camera, the happier I am. Just kidding. Okay, so let's figure out this fucking song. As a warning, I mean, I am just starting this thing. So, yeah. But it's such a cool sounding song. Yeah, I got that right. Song so much. I'm so excited for this one already. Glory says your passion for all of this is an inspiration. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I definitely don't want to come across as the broken record or the one-track mind where all I can think about is first-generation bluegrass. But I am thankful that you guys are like, oh, no, tell me about it, so I can yak about my passion without being socially cumbersome to the rest of humanity. So, thank you. And Light says, the reason I took up music myself is because of Haddock's passion is contagious. Aw, thank you guys so much. Thanks for the nice. And Terrariety, embrace the one-track mindness, dude. I have embraced it, but at the same time, I'm like, I should be slightly polite and ask people how their day has gone instead of been like, so guess what Bill Monroe did in 1981? Which is a lot of stuff with a lot of women. Oh my fucking hell. I think we're... Oh, don't get me started on Bill Monroe's love life. It's gotten worse. It just keeps on getting worse, and it's such a train wreck. Yeah. And Light says, honestly, this is already my favorite song after Blackberry Blossom. Yes! Dude, I love this so much already. So, what my teacher was telling me is that this sort of has the mountain sound, is this C. And that if you listen to some of the older tunings of banjo before bluegrass, you'll actually hear that tuning more commonly. And as soon as he mentioned it, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I've heard this before. I've heard Pete Seeger playing that tuning, which usually I play in a nice open G, but instead we put in this C instead of the B. Ah, it sounds so good. And it's sort of in a Dorian mode, I believe. I would like to analyze this for sure to make sure that I'm talking right. It's definitely in a mode. And one of the things that I love that gives such atmosphere about it is there's lots of open chords. So you don't hear either a major or a minor a lot of the time. It's just open. And it's so cool. As Glory says, it's so dark and threatening a sound. It's so cool. It really is. So I'm excited to be learning this. My timing is going to be off. But maybe I should just triple check my timing. I'm pretty sure I have it right. Or I can just stomp my fucking foot and shout 1 and 2 ands really loudly. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I messed up on. Yeah, that's my timing issue right there, is that measure. I found it. Fury says I would talk about dragons and art in my fanfics and OCs 100% of the time, but I know it'd be weird, and so I must listen to you, Banjo, yell as well. There must be balance. Yeah, that's sort of the interesting thing about friendships, is we can all just scream about what's inside of our mind for, like, 24/7, because that's what we're passionate about, and, we have to learn how to let up and let someone else shout. But in doing so, we end up learning new things, and I get passion by proxy. Just seeing other people get so excited makes me be like, yay! So, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Can't live entirely inside our own minds as much as I would love to. So. Oh, here's a cool feature. Here's a cool feature of this song. And, so it's a very bluesy note. So, I'm actually bending this motherfucker downward to even get it more bluesy. So instead of, here, this is without the bend. I have to play the notes, you fucker. Now listen to that get bent. It's gonna be da-da. Hear that? Oh, it makes it sound better, and my teacher's like, yeah, no, bend it down. So, yeah, that's cool. And Light says exactly how I feel about your bluegrass obsession. You are way too nice about the bluegrass obsession, and you're like, so, what did Bill do today? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. I'm just thinking about how many people I've introduced to the names of Bill Monroe, Earl Scruggs, Lester Flatt, and so forth that you guys never would have heard of before in your life, except for this stupid dumbass with pink hair who's like, 1950s country! So, yeah. Oh, it is a 4. It is a fucking 4. I was playing that right. The hammer-ons make this really cool. So what hammer-on is you start to play a note, you pluck it, and then while it's plucked, you slam on a second note. So that's what that is, a hammer-on. And so you get multiple ones. Yeah. Makes me so happy. Alright, and so Silas says, I do have a grandpa who was a fan of Flatt and Scruggs, so if I actually spent any reasonable amount of time with him, I'm sure the old generational nerdy bullshit would come into play. I mean, hey, Flatt and Scruggs are good things. They are good. They are good. Good music. I've been listening to a lot of Flatt and Scruggs lately. Usually I listen to more Bill than Flatt and Scruggs, but lately I've actually been in, mood for them, and Flatt and Scruggs are pretty interesting in how they made the dobro standard bluegrass instrument, instrument that Bill Monroe purportedly wouldn't touch. Let's not get into the whole debate about did Bill Monroe actually hate the dobro or not thing, and Flatt and Scruggs also really brought in harmonica a lot, and I'm not sure if they are responsible for the harmonica becoming a semi-staple of bluegrass, but they certainly helped it. So, yeah. What's so fascinating about Flatt and Scruggs is so many people complain about, oh, bluegrass is, you know, they went away from traditional, how dare they go away from traditional, and then you listen to first-generation traditional bluegrass like Flatt and Scruggs, and they even bring in drums in some of their tracks and stuff like that, and you're just like, shut up, guys. I know what you're getting at, and I know what you're complaining about, but there's always been innovation, there always will be, and there will continue to be. Now let's get to the B part, which I haven't practiced yet, which is gonna be interesting. And this is where the 2/4 measure is going to be in. So I'm gonna be playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that fourth measure is gonna have a 1, 2 instead of a full 4. And that's gonna make things interesting. Light's talking about the Dead South. Oh my gosh, I fucking love the Dead South. The Dead South is fun because the way they advertise themselves is a rock band without a drummer, a bluegrass band without a fiddle. And that's how they advertise themselves. And they really do have the drive of rock, and they're not traditional bluegrass at all. In fact, to the point that there have been lots of people complaining about it. They never, actually advertise themselves as bluegrass at first. They're just playing music, and then they got pegged as a bluegrass band, and they're like, whatever. But what's fun is, in their latest album, is they have one song that's about the traditional people complaining, that's not traditional bluegrass, and their song is basically like, who fucking cares, doesn't the banjo sound great? So, it's pretty good. So, yeah. Fury says, yes, this music is wonderful. Is there any music you don't like? I'm thinking. For a while, country I really wasn't into. Obviously, this last year has completely changed that. There's some genres that I really didn't care for a long time, like classic rock, that I'm now listening to more and more. So, I've listened to rap and hip-hop stuff since, like, before the junior high, honestly. I first got exposed to rap in, like, the first grade and loved it. I don't listen to a lot of it, but I, you know, obviously don't hate that genre either. I don't care much for contemporary pop because it's so commercialized and without much creativity. But I will listen to, like, basically anything at some point. Tyr says, I'm just here for good banjo players. Just give me your best and make it unique. Yeah, like, honestly, that's, you know, just play your heart out and be cool and stuff. And I'm definitely going to be, once I get better at banjo, I'm definitely going to be using a lot of my own ideas in my own compositions that are not traditional Scruggs style or Keith style or, you know, what have you. I have started composing stuff, but it's going to be so exciting once I get good because I can do all the stuff that's in my head and get it out. But I also want to get my full palette, and Scruggs stuff is so much fun, honestly. That's not a piece by Scruggs, but it's semi-Scruggs style. Yeah, play that sucker good. That's right. All right, let's get to the B section of Clinch Mountain Backstep and get to that 2/4 measure in all of its awesomeness. Yum, it sounds so good. Ooh, yum, I love it so much. I definitely improvised some in there. I'm gonna improvise on this tuning because it just sounds so good. I'm gonna have to improvise on that. Light says Scruggs style is so joyful, to be honest. It really is. And that's one of the things that I love about it, is it's just got such... It's this wonderful... It's simultaneously humble because it's focusing on the melody, and also flashy because there's just so much movement and notes. It's just... There's a really cool sound to Scruggs style that usually wouldn't be in my normal musical gravitation. Usually I like that old, you know, ancient minor sound, sort of like this song is, but Scruggs style just has... There's something really good about how he combines everything together to make anything just sound so good. In Honored Glory says, it's a great song to improvise on. Feels like it can meander so many places. You're so right, and I think you're exactly right. And it's so simple, too, and I think that's another reason why it's good to improvise on, is it's open enough to do easy improv. As long as I hit those key notes, which is just the, you know, the main... Ooh, I should use that note in there more often. Yeah, so there's a wonderful openness to it that has so much potential for improvising upon that I'll definitely take advantage of. Alright, let's get the actual notes first, though, before I start screwing around. Otherwise, I'll never get the notes right in the first place. Let's do from the top. Okay. So it's, alright, that's what it is. Okay, yeah, so Silas is talking. Scruggs is a literal goddamn genius. I also love, this sort of old world sound too, but like, bro, Earl is brilliant. You're absolutely right, and I love that my secondhand passion for Earl has, like, transferred onto you, just... because that guy is such an innovator. Like, he literally revolutionized banjo. I've heard him described as the shot heard round the world for, like, bluegrass and so forth, and it's absolutely true. Bill Monroe is the father of bluegrass. He created bluegrass. He's the one who is the you know, the progenitor of the genre. It makes sense. But without Earl and his absolutely unique, so unique style of banjo and showing just what you could do on the instrument and just innovating through his entire life and just the fact that he both completely changed he basically created a new language for banjo is what Earl did. Is he basically created a new language, and on top of being the creator of the new language, he was the best performer in it to this day. Like no one has hit that same level of tone and yum that he has. And it's just, man, that guy really changed it. And, you know, it's even more telling that, you know, in just a short amount of time, the banjo went from being a backup comedy instrument, basically a prop, into this serious solo instrument that everyone wanted to kick ass on. And it was so short of a time, because when people heard Earl the first time, everyone was like, what the fuck? It's just, yes. Man, that guy was so brilliant. And it's really funny listening and reading transcripts of him trying to describe his technique, because being self-taught and stuff, he doesn't know that much musical terminology. So I read him trying to give a formal description of his account, and he was using unique musical terminology. I'm like, you're calling those grace notes? I think arpeggio is the word you're looking for, but it's just, you know, who needs fancy-ass jargon when, you know, you've got this innate sense of ability and what you can do on the instrument. Ooh, that would be a cool note. That's not the right note, but that would be a cool note. His music terminology is just off. It's, I mean, some of it's right, some of it's not the best terminology, but, you know, whatever. Alright, I'm actually going to get a metronome on this, even though it's a little premature, just because I know there's one beat that I keep on playing too fast and it's driving me batshit, so I'm forcing myself to submit to the beat. So long. fun bending notes. Like that one, I'm bending upward. Bend again. Bend down. Yee. It sounds so good with the bended notes. It's so cool to be intentionally out of tune, let's be real. Have a feel of this piece now, which is great. Banjoiness. Love it, Fury. And yeah, it's just great when you get into one of those songs where you just vibe with so much that you could get lost and you could play it for 10 straight minutes and you wouldn't notice the passage of time. Those are the good ones. Like, oh man, yes. And it, you know, it depends on my mood. A lot of the time when I do improvisation on a composition I have, that's when I get lost in time and I'll play the same piece for 15 minutes straight, even though usually it's a 2-minute one, and it's just getting lost in the sound is the best feeling. Alright, so Fury says, me who knows no chords or anything on piano and just plinks by ear, I do not know this feeling, please explain. Oh, thank you, Glory, thanks for the nice words. I'm finally getting into the vibe, so we're gonna increase the tempo, motherfuckers. Nope. I do want it still faster, which is maybe pushing it for so early, but who flippin' cares right now? This is a good piece. Alright, yeah, nothing gained without reaching further. It's very true. you do have to balance that with rushing too quickly and learning bad habits too early, but this is a pretty simple piece. I'm actually playing it in the wrong key, but whatever. Again, I lost my capo, so we're gonna have to play this in the right key later. And what's really fun about playing it up a step, I could actually just retune my banjo so that you could hear it, is that when you tune up a step, it gets this really light feel to it, and there's this wonderful softness that you don't get when you're in this key. The key of A has a really glorious, light, soft feel on the banjo, which is cool. Alright, here. Yeah, let's actually, ooh boy, am I ready to do this? We're gonna try this. We're gonna hate my life and we're gonna try this. Here we go. Yep, one, da-da-da. Go double the speed. One, two, three, four. Yep, that's the full speed that I'm gonna, well, not full speed, but the actual speed I'm gonna work on. Here we go. Yep, that's better. I am speed. Well, I mean, I was playing it nice and slow. It was like playing with training wheels on a bike, so you can't do that forever, right? So let's get to what's slightly on tempo. actually play with it. Gloria says, listening to you play while I draw is a pleasing sensory experience. Thank you so much. Ooh, campfire in the middle of nowhere. I love that so much. Thank you so much. Honestly, I have this desire to just hang out with friends with a cheap instrument and do that campfire thing where we're just hanging out and doing music out in the middle of nowhere. Just us, some really humble music, or, you know, whatever the fuck goes down. Nice little conversations. And I'm getting smooth at it. Thank you, Glory. That's nice. That is nice of you. I'm starting to feel like I'm getting the hang of it. And Light's shouting campfire music jam. Let's be real. Campfire music jam sounds like the best. It's the humble stuff, the simple stuff, the everyday life stuff where we're bonding with each other. It's not about sounding great. It's about the fellowship. That's what I really care about. And Fury shouts, I'll bring the s'mores. Yes! I love this. See, now I just need to kidnap all y'all and go into the middle of nowhere. One thing that you have to do is you have to separate melody from background or so forth, and one of the things that's important about this piece is the descending bass line. So I'm trying to make the other notes quieter and get that bass line to really shout out. So here's where it sounds. So it's, you got ready? Da 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 da. That's really important. Yeah, so that's what you need to get out there. The top note's just a drone note. You're just playing... That's not too interesting. Shouldn't be as loud as the other stuff. Yeah. And Light saying, dude, no kidnapping me. Until you have a jaw harp. And, okay, yep, there we go. Fury, you keep saying you'll kidnap us, but you never follow through. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sounds like I just really need to do it. And don't worry, because I love you, I want to give you the full kidnapping experience so I can get that chloroform for you, whether or not it's necessary. Yeah, so, glad to help, Glory. Yeah, that's what you really have to pay attention to. Depending on the banjo piece, what's the melody line and what's the extra, it depends. Sometimes it's very heavy on one finger, sometimes all the fingers are playing it, but a lot of the times it's a thumb, and in this piece it is a thumb piece, so I have to basically play a bunch of thumb stuff. Yeah. Yeah, basically thumb stuff. And I like the thumb-heavy songs because it's easy for me to do the thumb one. Ooh, yeah, I wouldn't mind some logistical assistance here. You... Aww, you don't want me to do illegal stuff? This is so sad. Oh, I should do that note, but I shouldn't. Okay, play the actual notes. Ah, but it's such a cool note. I'm already thinking about how I can vary this up. Yay! Light will do crimes with me. That's what I'm messing up. I'm gonna do it without the metronome now that I'm comfortable. Well, we'll see. We could get a... It depends. There's really small jails. Maybe we can get, you know, locked up in one of those one-room jail houses that are up in the mountains, and you guys can do camping right outside, and we'll eat our s'mores on the inside, and you'll eat the s'mores on the outside, and we can pass them back to forth each other. Slightly uncomfortable hand-wise. I don't know if you guys realize it. This song is actually slightly uncomfortable hand-wise for me right now. That's a cool note too. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get any more productive practice out of this piece. I'm noticing that I'm hitting a stagnation point, which is fine. There's actually a second part to it where I can play a variation, which is oh man, I wish it was that note. That would be such a cool note. It's a different note. Alright, yeah. I'm gonna call that enough. I do technically have another song that's called Gold Rush that I need to get my buttocks on, but I do not feel like it, so I'm not going to. The other song that I just finished up was Cherokee Shuffle. You guys have heard me play that one. That one. Yep. So this one is really interesting as far as notes to emphasize. So what I want is... So there's a bunch of stuff, and one thing I like doing is, there's a little scale right here. I like sort of growing on it. Sort of hitting that one on the top as the loudest pitch. Then this is another thumb part. To get that in there. a good play day, but whatever. You've heard that one before. So I think I'm gonna call it done for doing banjo streaming. Thank you guys so much for being here and chatting with me as I do a little bit of music. I was so excited about this new piece, the Clinch Mountain Backstep, that I was like, I want to show you guys this. So thanks for letting me show it to you. It is such a cool piece, and I'm loving it, and I feel like I'm gonna get it all practiced up pretty fast. It's not gonna be very long to take to get there. It's very, it's slightly uncomfortable in the hand, but the hand doesn't move that much, so once my hand quits complaining, it's not going to be much of a problem. And thanks so much for the kind words, everybody. Thank you so much. For the game, I'm probably going to go back to Edna and Harvey, unless there's going to be a good turnout, in which case I would rather do Colonel Sanders, honestly. I just don't want people to miss out. So let me know via Discord which you would prefer. Either is going to be equally easy / hard / whatever to set up. So I'm fine with either. I really do want to continue on with Colonel Sanders. And then Harvey I can get to any time. And Jaya says, I'm glad you were able to catch the end of it. Thanks so much. And Light says, seems like you're picking up new songs quicker and quicker. It's true. I can feel it myself, is how quickly I'm picking up songs. It's honestly exciting me a lot. I still am in the frustrating beginner stage, but I do also accede to myself that 2 months ago I was much worse off than I am today. So progress is continuing to be made, and I am doing what I need to do. So, what I'm going to sound like in a year from now should be pretty spiffy. Okay. Anyway, I shouldn't prolong the ending of the stream, otherwise I'm going to be yakking and repeating myself like I always inevitably do. So, goodbye. Talk to y'all later, and yep. Stream soon again for Game of Doom. Dun dun dun!